Hi everybody, welcome. I'm Tony Testa.
And I'm Emily Stein.
And we're with the Corcoran Group. We're here to give you a little bit of an update on what's been going on in our market here in New York City. Our market reports just came out, so we'll talk a little bit about that too. But overall, I think we'll just chat a little bit about what we see, because we're out there every day.
Yeah, and we've had the luck to be able to work with customers and also have listings. So we're seeing what's going on, what's moving, what's being held back before people actually go to putting in an offer. There is more inventory on the market as we're seeing now. People that are below $1 million, it is a buyer's market for them without a doubt. Yeah. Probably up to about $2 million. It's a really good buyer's market.
Yeah, I mean, the market report, it's an overall data system. It's a little bit of doom and gloom, but what we see, this is probably our busiest quarter that we've had, first quarter 2019, in a long time.
Yeah.
So our buyers have been very active. We've been dealing with bidding wars, both in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. Our properties that we've had on the market since last fall are finally moving.
We're finding that really the key to this, and this is no big surprise, is that it has to be priced well. Yeah. There still are properties on the market that are overpriced. They're staying on the market longer. One of our jobs is to really inform the seller what is actually happening out in the market. We would like to sell properties for as much money as possible, but if the market is not really doing that, it's just going to sit. Yeah,
you know what? We're going to take a pause for a second. We've got a guest popping in.
Oh, look who's here!
If you're with Corcoran, then you know. We are. Come on over. This is Ida Field, our marketing guru here.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
So I don't have a microphone for you, so you just have to.
Well, I talk very
close to me. So
I don't think I need a microphone. Really, can you all hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
so what are we talking about?
We're just chatting. We've got the market report that's come out, but we're also talking about what we see every day.
Of course.
And about inventory and pricing and how we have to educate the seller.
Sure. What a lot of people don't know is when the market report comes out, it's already past news, and what you guys are seeing in the field is what's happening right now.
That's right.
So what's happening right now?
Well, we were just saying that there are customers that we're working with, and there are also sellers that we're working with, and pricing is so important on both sides. And when you are working with a buyer, you particularly need to know what's going on in that part of the city.
I mean, things are moving quick enough, even on the buy side, which we haven't seen in a long time, but they're moving quick enough that the buyer has to be prepared. There's a lot on us to make sure that the pre-approvals are in, to make sure that we're in talks with their lender, to make sure the building is approved, get all their financials in order, and then submit an offer so that the seller can make a decision.
Yeah. Do you ever, when you work with a buyer, you're submitting some personal details about them to tell that story, and that
Definitely.
can give them
without a
that
doubt.
edge
Definitely.
when they're looking at multiple offers, just to kind of tell them a little bit of background.
This is somebody's home that they're buying into, and I think what makes a seller just really fall in love, or at least connect with somebody, is somebody else coming in who's going to fall in love with that space, really take good care of it.
When we put an offer in, which we've done actually just last week, when we put an offer in and there's somebody who, and we know it's a popular property, we'll ask our buyer to write a little summary of who they are, why they want to live there, what happened when they walked into that apartment. Make it more personal. Make it so that it's not just a piece of paper that they're looking at, but the owner can now connect with them.
Because the owner's so attached, and if that prospective buyer says they got goosebumps, when they walked in the door, that could make a big difference.
And quite honestly, that's the truth, because somebody that's buying something, whether it be below $1 million or keep going up, this is still a lot of money to whoever it is, and this is where they're going to be coming to at night, and they want to make sure it's their sanctuary.
Which is why you need the right experts by your side to navigate. It makes a big difference.
It does, and that's a big part of our job, is making sure that they're aware of what they need to do and what the next steps are. Because a lot of times we work with first-time buyers and they don't know the process. The more they know, the more prepared they are, the more comfortable they are going forward.
And it's more complicated than you think.
It is.
There's a lot of nuance to it.
We have to go slowly. We have to release the information slowly, because people do tend to get overwhelmed. It's very personal. It's psychological. You have to understand, if you're working with a seller or if you're working with a buyer, you have to really understand that this is so personal.
Yeah, I always say there's no more personal business than that of representing homes.
Right.
It is. And luckily it's fun too, because we have a lot of fun doing it. We try to make our clients enjoy the process. Yeah. So, luckily
well, you guys are fun. Well, I appreciate you letting me kind of share your
We're glad you popped in.
Yeah, good to see you.
Always good to see you. All right, thanks, Ida. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right. You never know who's going to drop in as we're recording away here.
Pam Lehman might come in next.
Yes. We forgot to put the red light on outside the door. So anyway, so overall, I mean, that's what's going on in the market. Brooklyn is also busy. We've got buyers in Brooklyn. We've got properties in Brooklyn that are also still moving along, that are seeing multiple interests. So Brooklyn is still the same story. Brooklyn has been hot for several months now.
Several months and also several years. Brooklyn really went to its height in 2017 and 18. Yeah. In 2019, it's starting to see a little bit, it's going a little slower. Yeah. Inventory isn't as high as it was in those peak years, but there's still a lot of inventory. There's also some new developments that are going on in downtown Brooklyn. And so there are different types of properties that people are able to go to.
And in those popular neighborhoods, Crown Heights, Bushwick, Bed-Stuy, Lefferts Gardens, they're still seeing a lot of good activity. Williamsburg, Greenpoint, they've cooled off a little bit, but Brooklyn's a little bit behind Manhattan.
Right.
They're seeing that lag that we saw toward the end of last year, but it's still moving.
Right, and Sunset Park is kind of, it's inching in.
Yeah, and and popping back to Manhattan, like Emily said, it always comes down to well-priced properties moving. Co-ops are still moving in both boroughs here. Co-ops are still moving.
Co-ops are moving
they
faster
tend to be
than
more
condos.
affordable,
Right.
so that's always good. First-time buyer territory. Mm-hmm. I think one of the sales that threw off all of our data was the penthouse sale at 220 Central Park South.
Right.
So that was what, 238?
240 million.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So that, of course, is going to skew numbers on the new development side and on the condo side. But,
right. But it's only one, so it's not going to make that much of a difference. As far
not
as
the norm, but only here in Manhattan are you going to see something that extraordinary.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. One other thing we want to chat about is the new taxes that are pushed through the state budget. So a slight increase on transfer taxes and an increase on the mansion tax.
Right.
We're going to pop up a little chart for you too. Overall, the transfer tax did see about 0.25% increase if you're purchasing over $3 million. The mansion tax, though.
The mansion tax, if you're buying below $2 million, it's not going to affect you. It's still going to be 1% of the price that you're buying it at. But if you do go above $1 million, it starts to become 0.25% more, and then it keeps going higher as the numbers get higher.
Right, over $2 million, you're going to start to see that increase. And listen, it can go all the way up to just under 4%.
Yeah.
If you're in those really high price points.
And
so
that's real money. When it starts to go up higher, that's real money.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen to our market with these changes on taxes?
Well, I think in the development aspect, I think that the developers are going to have to start to incentivize the buyers.
There's a lot of new development inventory, so they've got to stand out now. Right. And especially with these other increased charges that the buyers are picking up.
And that's also why they're not coming out and saying to buyers, we're going to help you, we're going to give you a year of common charges off, we're going to pay the transfer tax. If you want a storage space, we'll give it to you for free. I mean, it really depends on what's important to you, but what's important is that we can go in and we could start negotiating for you because we know to ask those questions.
Yeah, we've got a lot of connections on the new development side. Of course, Corcoran Sunshine alone is a huge presence in new development. But going back to preparedness, same thing. We'll have our conversations with you. We'll get the best deals that we can for these. So, listen, it's better than it could have been. Do you remember the progressive pied-à-terre tax?
Yes.
The tax that was going to hit everybody annually, which was insane.
That would be a terrible thing. So I'm glad that did not go through.
It's a better option. It's not a great option, but luckily it's not really hitting hard that meat and potatoes area of our market, which is a lot of the first-time buyers, the more average price points of our market. So.
Right. There still are people that are coming into the city and they're still looking for their first-time homes. There are people that are they're empty nesters. They're coming back in. We work with everybody. We work with people that like modern some people like to go to the Upper West Side, and they love the pre-war.
Yeah.
It's an exciting thing to do, to be able to go out and see all the architecture that's going on in the city.
Yeah, and you know what? And the neighborhoods are changing so quickly. I mean, you've really got to be in tune with what's going on. We run into people every now and then that say, "I don't want to go above 86th Street."
Right.
Well, when's the last time you went above 86th Street? You should.
Yeah.
Same thing, going across the river to Brooklyn. There's a lot of great options out there. We do all of it. Take a look at our page. We're going to throw up some links at the end. So our Corcoran.com page, all of our social media. We'll keep you up to date with some really cool newsletters, and of course everything going on in the market.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have a really healthy season.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's about enough of us for you today. But we will be chatting with you again soon with even more information. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.